Hey everyone, welcome to this third unboxing video for Warlord Games Black Seas. We're looking at the two first rates that are available at the moment, the Victory, HMS Victory, and the French battleship L'Orient. And we'll have a look at what you get in the box and how it compares to the other ships that you can already get. So if we pull out the Victory first. And this is my first look at them as well. Okay, so we get our thread. Thank you, Ronnie. We get an instruction sheet. And it looks like there's a few detail pieces on there. There is an instruction about resin kits. And it talks about washing them, doing a dry run, using super glue. Yeah, so that's all information there on how to work with it and treat it. We have a little metal longboat at the back. I think that was the one in the instructions that is suspended across the back there. We have our flags. Oh, this is interesting. We have a new class of wake marker. So in the third rate video I showed you the large wake marker, and in this one we have got an extra large wake marker. So we've got in here our Royal Navy flags, and actually it looks like it's a standard sheet, so it's got brig and third rate on there as well. Yeah, and frigate and first rate on there. Bear in mind at the moment I haven't seen any second rates, so whether that's a set Warlord is yet to come out with, we'll have to see. We've got our sails, our ratlines, the ship card. It's HMS Victory, so it is an XL size, has 115 hull points, rate of knots of 3, so it's another one slower than the third rate ships. It has 4 heavy cannon, 4 light cannon on the board side this is, and 3 carronades. Front is 2 heavy, and rear is 1 heavy, and it's a yellow maneuver, so it's less maneuverable than the others. Comparing that to the third rate, so you can see the third rate has got significantly less hull points, 1 less heavy, 2 less light cannons, 1 less carronade, and the rear 1 less front heavy, and the rear there's a light cannon instead of a carronade. So all in all, I think it's a big jump up in firepower and hull points, but also that yellow maneuver angle is going to be a big sacrifice in maneuverability. I think we'll have to see when we get it on the table. And then we get down to the actual miniature itself, which is well secured and bubble wrapped by the looks of it. Wow, look at that. So in this one, the hull is already one piece. There are some boats there and fittings. Oh, that's the rear windows there in metal. The masts and fittings all in metal there. And the hull herself in resin. and I have to say it's a pretty lovely amount of detail there. Might be a little hard to see on this video. And to give you guys the comparison shot, here is the third-rate hull, and there is the first-rate hull. So again, a fair bit bigger than the third-rate, but also just the resin and the fact it's one piece, it just makes it feel really imposing. It feels really solid. When you compare that to the smallest ship in the fleet, the little brigs, you can see it absolutely dwarfs them. Alright, we will move these bits over and let's have a look at the French offering. We'll keep Victory to hand so we can compare her stats. So the French battleship, I believe it went through about 3 different names depending on who was in power at the time as to whether it was a suitable name to use or not. And if I'm correct, was destroyed in the Battle of the Nile, which is why I saw she has a quirky rule that if she catches fire, she immediately explodes. It'll be interesting to see. Thank you again, Ronnie. Be interesting to see whether that rule is offset by her points value or whether it does become a real inconvenience to player because of it. So again, we get our thread, we get our instruction booklet with the same resin information, and we get our pack of sails. And yes, I'm having a bit of trouble opening everything one-handed, but that's because you guys are getting this first-hand, just like me. I haven't gone through and looked at this and pre-vetted stuff for you. You are seeing it exactly as I am, because I wanted to get you this video as quickly as possible. So again, another XL wake marker. So the first-rate sails, so they've obviously decided to go with the light sails for Victory and the dark sails for the French. A French flag sheet, which again includes brigs, third rates, frigates and first rate. Another packing slip, thank you Rodica. Got our rat lines. And we have the ship card here. So comparing the two first rates. So we can see the hull rating is 120, which is just a tiny bit higher than Victory. Breakpoint is 40, which is a lot higher actually. It's a bit unusual, given that the hull only has 5 points more, but the breakpoint is doubled. It's 40 instead of 20. The rate of sail is still 3. Front armament is the same, 2 heavy, 3 carronades on each side, 4. Yeah, so the armament's all the same by the looks of it, and the turning is the same. So it's a little unusual that both of these ships are equipped the same, they move the same, they turn the same, they have almost the same hull points, but the breakpoint on Victory is right, sorry, yeah, I'm getting breakpoint is what you have to get down to. So Victory actually is you got to whittle her away a lot more before she'll surrender or sink. So less hull points perhaps, but yeah, before she'll sorry, not sink, before she'll surrender. So less hull points, but higher morale. So that's really interesting. I wonder how that is reflected in the points to field those miniatures. I'll have to have a look as how they compare. Alright, let's get on to the miniature itself. And again we have metal masts and fittings and a resin hull. And here she is. Looks like maybe a few miscast pieces on this one perhaps. Might need a little bit of tidying up. I'll have to have a closer look at that. And in terms of side by side with Victory, they're pretty close. She's slightly longer than Victory, and you can see they are very unique. They're individual models. There's not sort of a sort of a rehash with slight changes here. These two hulls really are very different. She stands quite a bit taller than Victory actually as well. You can see even alongside she's sort of peeking over the top there. It's almost like she's a deck higher. Waterline there appears to be quite a bit higher. So that's interesting. I'm not sure if that's how the actual ship was or what. So, yeah, those are our two first-rate ships. We haven't got any second rates yet. It'll be interesting to see when. I mean, I'm sure there's bound to be second rates coming at some point. Be interesting to see how they slide in between the third rates and the first rates. But I'm already thinking there's going to be a lot of hurt put out by these ships when they hit the battlefield, and they're going to take a lot to take one of these down. So if there's any other questions or anything you'd like to see more of, drop me a comment below, and I'll do my best to give you some answers. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you next time.